Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing. We have a remarkable guest today. I'm so excited to have with us the CEO of HSN Inc., Mindy Grossman. Mindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Devin.
Mindy, you live your life on television. You're big time. I live my life on the little screen of telephones and iPads, and it's an honor, a special honor for me to have you here today. You share a passion with me, and you probably didn't know that, but I learned that of you. You have a real passion for Unicef, and I wonder if you would just tell us how that's come about.
You know, I had met Carol Stern a number of years ago when we had done a project with Unicef and Feed with Lauren Bush, and I really understood the impact that they were making as an organization. And a number of years later, when Carol asked me to join the board, she didn't even have to finish the sentence, because I really believe that children are our future, and protecting them, educating them, and making sure they live lives of dignity and they live lives, I think is the most important thing that we can focus on. And I've been very passionate about the work. I've been on 2 field missions, and HSN Cares, which is our platform for philanthropy. Unicef has been our global partner for the past 3 years.
So, Mindy, tell us a little bit about those missions you went on. What did you see, and how did it impact you?
You know, Devin, what was really interesting is I was in Senegal on my first mission, and then most recently in Guatemala. And what you have to understand, even going into these situations, is every situation is different. Every country has different political issues, economic issues, cultural issues. And you really have to go in and understand that if you're going to create change. And that's what's so powerful about Unicef. They are on the ground every day. They have knowledge from the communities all the way to the economic situations of the country, to the political situation, so they can actually create sustainable change. So that's the first thing that really becomes evident. The second thing that clearly becomes evident is a child, no matter where they're born, no matter where their circumstances. They want to be happy, they want to be healthy, and that's all their parents care about. So being able to have the type of impact that really is going to change lives, change culture, which ultimately change society, is just so profound when you think about it.
Well, one of the things I love about UNICEF is their ability to mobilize impact at scale. When we're talking about, and I believe we are, millions of children at risk around the world, it's frustrating at times to look at smaller organizations trying to do good at small scale. And I get so excited when I see them moving at scale. And part of what gets me excited about having you on the show today is the impact that you're having at scale. Tell us a little bit about how much money you've raised for UNICEF over the last few years.
Sure. Well, the first thing is, to your point, the need is certainly staggering, and the need to have impact and mobilize against that impact, and not only have people on the ground, but to have the resources and to be able to partner with other organizations to have even greater impact. So our 3 years with UNICEF have been fantastic. We have raised in excess of $2 million. Our campaign runs in the fall around the same time as Trick or Treat for UNICEF. And what we've done is we galvanize certainly our employees, our partners, and our customers who really care. HSN Cares is about empowering women and helping families and children in need. And we know that's what our customers care about. So each of the last 3 years, in addition to our campaign for contributions, we have done 2-hour primetime specials featuring the work of UNICEF. So not only have we raised funds that are critical for the organization, but one of the most important things is to raise awareness of what the need is, awareness of what UNICEF is doing, and awareness of the impact that they're having. And I have a great example that really touched me
Please share.
in a very significant way. So we were in Guatemala, and it's a difficult situation for children. There's tremendous amount of malnutrition. There's unfortunately a lot of physical and sexual violence against children, and in particular girls. So it was a challenging trip on one hand, but it was incredible to see the impact that Unicef was having. But on our last night there, we had dinner with a group of young women from the ages of about 14 to 20 who had started an organization to be the change that they needed to be in that country, which is why I feel so passionate about empowering young women. And they had a massive effort that they were leading to change and to get the government to change the marrying age of girls from 14, imagine that, 14 to 18. And I knew as soon as I saw these girls and their passion that they were going to be successful. And I remember talking to one of the older girls and just how hard it was. And I said, you can't stop. And just a few weeks ago, we were advised that they were successful and that law was changed. And UNICEF was with them every step of the way, supporting them in that effort. And in that country, that is going to have a significant impact. So when you see things in real time, when you're there and you see the impact, you just know how important it is. And, I think, having a culture of generosity, whether it's as an individual or within an organization, and doing, not because you have to, because you really want to have impact, I think is so important today.
I hear what you're saying. I think that's a great point. Now, Mindy, you are a role model to I don't know how many millions of people, but as a leader, as a woman who's a CEO, for all kinds of reasons, people look up to you, admire you. Who do you look up to for inspiration? Who inspires you?
I've been very fortunate in that I've been surrounded by some incredible people over my life and my career. But I have to say, someone that definitely had an impact on me, I worked for Phil Knight at Nike for 6 years. And he represents to me the type of leader that I want to be. He inspires people. He has humanity. He has purity of brand and the articulation, but he wants that brand to have impact beyond anything they sell. Want to have impact on people. And when you look at the work of the Nike Foundation, for example, and what they've accomplished just in a number of short years around really empowering women and girls in particular, it has been fantastic. But who he is as a human being and the commitment he has always inspired me. And I've really aimed to have that type of inspired leadership.
I think that's, I appreciate you sharing that. That's such a clear, specific answer, and I appreciate that. I know so little about Phil Knight. It's great to hear that, such a warm story about it. I'm wondering, as you think back, peel back one more layer, as you interacted with UNICEF for the first time and you began to appreciate what they were doing, why do you think that appealed to you? Why did that interest you? Why do you care fundamentally about these issues?
I believe fundamentally that if we do not change the tide and educate and empower and give children are our future, right? We're living in a world of chaos right now. In particular, just the last few weeks, look at what's happened. And if we don't have a more engaged and educated society that we're bringing these children into, we're just creating more of the same. And it's so important to be able to have that impact, or again, we're not going to create the change that we need. And in many countries, we're not doing that. And UNICEF has to absolutely have that impact. And, I say it's the future of our society. So, who would you talk to that said, if you had the ability, if it took you a minute, if it took you 5 minutes, if it took you $1, who would not want to save the life of a child? And I just sit back and go, this is not even a conversation. This is an imperative. And we all have to be part of this. And certainly there's a lot of great organizations out there who are doing great work. But, you know, I have to believe that the organization that has saved more children's lives than any other organization is something I wanted to be part of. And the work they do in many countries is really leading edge. And the knowledge that they have of how to have impact is significant as well.
I hear that, and I appreciate you sharing that personal insight. Mindy, the last thing I really want to ask you, while we've got this rare privilege of having you here with us, everyone who's watching is focused on, more than anything, doing good. They want to know how to have more impact. And so I'll ask you for an impact hack, something that you do that we can emulate to be more like you and have more impact.
Well, it's simple. You need to want to live a life of meaning and impact. And what that means is you want to be able to focus on the success of others and bringing more meaning to them, because ultimately that's going to make you be more fulfilled as well. You know, there's a book that I think is very powerful. It's called Give and Take by Adam Grant. And that there are three types of people in this world: givers, takers, and matches. And givers with purpose, I think, are going to truly be the people who are going to be the leaders of the world and make the greatest impact. And that's how I've always looked at things. If I can make and focus on making others successful, I will in turn be more successful. If I can focus on living a greater life of meaning, I will help other people and it will bring me greater joy. And I truly believe that's what we all have to espouse, particularly today where there's a lot of need. And impact is not just dollars, although that's critically important. It's about using your voice and it's about using your platform. And there's three things that are important to me: passion, purpose, and impact. Do what you're passionate about, have it be purposeful, and aim to have impact in whatever you do. And I think if everybody just espoused to that mantra, we'd all be in a better place.
Well, Mindy, I thank you for sharing those insights, that great counsel. I think choosing to live a life with purpose is just a great impact hack. It's the fundamental overall impact hack, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Before you go, please tell us how people can learn more about the work you're doing in your partnership with Unicef and how they can engage with HSN.
Sure. So on any of our platforms, so hsn.com across mobile, tablet, desktop, any of our digital platforms, you can find out all about HSN Cares and our other 7 companies, which include Frontgate, Ballard Designs, Garnet Hill, etc. You can find all the information about HSNi Cares and the work that we do, and be able to become a bigger part of it.
Fantastic. Well, Mindy, again, thank you very much for being on the show, and I wish you every success in your work with Unicef to make a difference in the world.
Thank you, Devin, for having me and letting me talk about something I'm so passionate about.
All righty. Let's do some good.